Yes, bro. Like,
I listen. I was watching the best moments of Micah Richards. Yeah, he's kind of
Mhm.
funny, you know.
he's
He
funny.
is, he
He's
is, he
funny.
is.
It's a cheeky sort of, do you know what I mean, vibe between him and Roy Keane. Like you can't take them seriously when it's together. Trust me, it's
Yeah,
hilarious, man.
Roy Keane's the serious one, and he's the Joker still.
Yeah, it's like one of
And
those pop
Roy Keane's a
shows.
bit of a joker as well, though. Like
Roy
he
Keane's
says things
funny.
without checking the facts.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, Roy Keane is funny still, but he's a bit, he's a bit serious
Like
more
he
time.
said, Grealish didn't want to take a penalty, which is not true, right?
It's not true. Well,
he
so
said
Grealish
no,
does. So Grealish does.
no, but he did say that. How can you let a 19-year-old boy take a penalty in front of you? You should be like, no, like, override the manager. I'm taking this penalty. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
was he right? An experienced captain of from United who's played in various finals.
For his
Whereas,
club, not country.
You know what? Roy Keane knows a thing or two about taking penalties away from someone and giving it to someone else. I
He
remember
does,
when Diego Forlan was struggling for goals. He wanted to get his first goal, and Man United got a penalty. And I think Man
mm,
United were a couple goals up, right? And he still took the ball away from Forlan and gave it to Ruud van Nistelrooy. I remember that. That was hilarious. But
yeah, but as a Man United man, why do you want to get your first goal as a penalty? No, 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 no. You get your first goal from open play. That's how
but
it should be.
all
you
Roy
guys are
Keane
cold.
cared about was that Van Nistelrooy was hitting the back of the net still.
Yeah, business as usual. No room for sentiment, man. Just Barry Mitchell is our guy. He puts in penalties. He's taking it. Simple as that. Simple as that, man. But like we were saying about Michael Richards and Roy Keane, it's like the comedy duo, like the typical black cop, white cop sort of scenario where they're both funny, they both balance of each other, and that's how things should be on a regular basis. I mean, as we've grown up in schools, we've always had like a mixture of people in our classrooms and a mixture of friends, but for some reason in football, that mixture's not going too well right now. As soon as it comes down to the line to penalties, and unfortunately, after England's World Cup exit to Italy, you know it's bad when the Italians are like, "Oof, you lot are racist. That's bad." So when Italians are saying this to you, when Cellini accused Moises Keane as part of the problem when the opposition fans were booing him, and he said, "Yeah, it's his fault. It's his fault. They're booing him because he's black." When Italians are telling you to calm down on racism, then you know there's something wrong. And
Jeez.
yeah, we saw ugly football the other day, and why are we surprised? Ashley, I mean, coming to you, bruv. Like, were you shocked
That,
to see
that
the scenes? Were you
the
shocked?
the ugly side of football. No, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all because it's as you said, it's a minority in in our society.
Mm,
But if you look at like I was saying to somebody, if you look at like other countries, in a moment like that, when you reach the finals, you become united. Like in a win lose, like there's no draws, but win or lose, especially if your boys show passion. It's not like they went out and lost 4-0, 3-1. There was no fight. There was good fight in there.
mm.
So I don't understand the
The
abuse to
negativity.
yeah, the
Mm,
abuse and negativity to a few players when it's a team game. It's not tennis where it's a one man team. It's a team
yeah.
game still. So yeah, I
Yeah.
felt a bit sad for a few of those players. You know what I mean? They shouldn't be getting that, especially as young of 19 years old. Definitely shouldn't
Yeah.
be getting that.
Mm.
But
I mean, on the plus side, you know that Jamaica, Nigeria, Ghana are rubbing their hands, thinking, "Boy, these next future England stars are coming to us because we will show
happy
them the
days,
love." Happy
happy days.
days. I mean, even the other day, I think you posted something on Reed for Jamaica scoring a banging goal
Yeah,
in the, is it the
Yeah,
Concaf
that was a nice
Goal? That was a
yeah.
nice goal, and he's thinking
Gold
like,
Cup,
"Boy,
right? Yeah.
Gold Cup." I mean, he's thinking, "Oh, I'm feeling the love for my country." Same as Antonio. Antonio was sick of waiting for England to come and approach him with a cap. And then after seeing what's happened, the disgraceful behaviour from the minority of English football fans, he thought, you know what, kick rocks. I'm going to Jamaica, get my citizenship over there, get my nice house over there, and play for my country. Like it's a sad thing to see, and the fact that you've got to explain to your kids and future strikers or potential Messis, potential Ronaldos who are black, British born, who don't want to play football, who lost their passion after witnessing that. And it's disgraceful and it's sad. I mean, my mum said to me, why England would have won the World Cup years ago if they weren't introducing one black player at a time. When you had John Barnes or Chamberlain or Walker or Paul Ince, like a one at a time thing. Like,
a bit more than one at a time.
Yeah, and it's like in my head I thought, well, Jamaica, England without multicultural players will be hungry, like a hungry team, or a dead Luxembourg team. Like even Switzerland. Listen, if you're a refugee, you come to Switzerland, you can play ball. We're giving you a passport, bro.
Yeah, of course. But it goes back to like the minority. Like I think in society over years, like those years going back. Obviously, since then till now, we can say there's been a progression. You know what I mean? Because now there's a bit more coloured players, different background players playing for England. But those days, if they built it up, then yeah, you could possibly be right because there was a few strong players that were British, you know, wanted to play for England, didn't get the chance to because of whatever reason. And now you get a few of those players playing in the team. It's like, what, are we going back in time? Are you not happy that, you know, a different colour or someone's representing the shirt when most of these players are growing up and actually want to represent the shirt? So it's like, it's not like they're being forced into it. They want to represent the shirt.
Yeah, the free lines.
So I just don't understand it. Like, I don't know. But on what you were saying about players dying to play for their countries, big up Hudson-Odoi making the switch. Hold tight, my guy still. You know what I mean? He said, you know what? I'm going to go over there and play. And you know what? The worst thing is that even though he might not start for Chelsea, when internationals come around, he's starting for Ghana.
Yeah,
you know
100.
This is the facts. And another thing that I don't like about the way how they use a lot of players, use and abuse players. A lot of players will get caps, like, and then they won't get a cap again for like they'll get one cap and then you screw them to play for any other country. You know what I mean? So it's like you just do that on purpose, or you know, because look at Antonio for instance. Look, it's only now. Look how old Antonio is now. You know what I mean? That he can go and switch now and play for a different country. Like you know, you could have been doing this 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Do you remember when Deco switched from Brazil to Portugal after 10 years playing in Portugal? And there's a young guy at Bayern Munich. Is it Menclia? The young black boy who plays for Bayern Munich. England wanted to put him into the squad just so he couldn't play for Germany. And he was like, I'm going to get some Germany caps first because I've got my opportunities in Germany. And you lot didn't even sniff me in Britain. But now, because Bayern Munich are pushing me, and you want me to play for you guys? Nah, you're all right. Kick rocks. I'll be with Germany. Guten Tag. Do you know what I mean? Guten Tag.
But they like to poach. Same thing with Declan Rice, isn't it? Even though it's not colour, but same thing still. He was on the
same thing with Declan Rice.
He was on the Irish side, and you know they saw a brilliant season or talent in him, and they said, "No, we gotta have this." So it's like talent is under their nose, and it's only when it comes to the surface that they actually want to take notice and start giving people caps. When it's it's a bit too late sometimes.
Isn't Jack Grealish one as well? Jack Grealish, wasn't he Irish? He could have been capped for Ireland as well, wasn't it? I think he had dual nationality.
Dual nationality, you know.
I mean, it's just sad to see it.
It is sad. It's sad, especially when I don't want to speculate too much, right? But did you see what happened today with the under 18 Portsmouth players?
No,
what happened?
Oh, whoa! All right, you guys carry on talking. Let me see if I can find it and post it up.
Or did they just? I mean, we shouldn't be shocked by this because, again, the government are trying to do what they do speak to social media platforms, but this is not new. This has been repeated time and time and time and time again, and it will never.
It's like they could have made measurements a long time ago. You know what I mean? For it to not get here, like, or at least not so bad. You know what I mean? Like with the social media platforms, like as you said, like with the fake accounts and stuff like that. This people been doing that for years. It's not like it's only since lockdown that people got bored and they said, right, let's make fake accounts. It's been happening for years. So
I mean, do you remember when the Tottenham riots kicked off and every man was some people we won't discuss were doing what they were doing and just breaking into shops, and do you see how swiftly the police got them on CCTV? I know one guy that got arrested like in 2015 because CCTV footage cleared things up and said, oh, he was there, he's getting arrested, identified him. Well, the same way the British fans were drinking out their Stella Artois and getting on a train down to London at 9 o'clock in the morning, destroying their own capital city before the match starts. Italian fans don't behave like that.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Scottish fans don't behave like that. And then you want to put in a bid for the World Cup. You want to pretend like there's not racism from the top that stems down to the bottom. That's what we're going to ignore this. And
you know what as well, yeah? I kind of understand now why a lot of countries hate having like English fans coming over, you know, like when certain teams, I understand it now still because we are like hooligans, bro. Like, but hooligans like to ourselves and to anyone that's around us is a danger, bro.
but then again, it links to, because of hooliganism, you link hooliganism with people living below the poverty line, and because football is a working man sport. And it always will be working man sport. This is why we tend to attract this minority of thugs and racist people who, you know, it was to play football to get them out of whichever bad situation they're in. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, because football is attracting more money, proper friends like you and I cannot afford to pay £150 to watch your team play. And the reason why the price is that high, one, because of revenue, and two, it discourages people on below the poverty line to afford tickets to go see their match. Why do you think madness happens at Wall and down in Birmingham at the Den? Because the tickets are cheap as hell. And the same thugs that were going back in the day with their Millwall bricks, folded up newspaper, are still going to this very day. Whereas when you go to Chelsea and West Ham, nah, man, they're like, right, we need to get proper jobs, behave like proper individuals, be tax-paying individuals, be able to afford to go see our team play, and we can't really kick off. We've got a job to protect. That's why the price is so high. So you and I can't go to a match for like every week. It'd be too expensive, all because of thuggery.
It would be like it would be like deducting most of man's salary.
Yeah, really.
Yeah,
like a tax.
Like you couldn't afford to take your family if you had a big family. You know, you couldn't afford that.
Maybe like one kid each game.
Yeah, rotation that season. look, guys, I decided not to show the Portsmouth tweets because Portsmouth are going to do an investigation to see if it's actually real. But the gist of it is like a bunch of players in the under-18 team. We're in the group chat on Snapchat, and the group chat snippets of it got screenshotted into public, innit? And they were just being racist to the England players after the match. Like it's a terrible watch. If you get a chance, Google it afterwards. You'll see for yourself.
I mean, we know it's happening,
and that makes it sad because they must have, you know, black teammates within the under-18 team, or just if not the under-18, then the under-21s, or. You know how it goes.
Yeah. Well, Portsmouth is not. It's not exactly a Premiership club anymore. So I'm pretty sure once you start, you know, going down tiers like that, the first teamers and the under-21s and the youth team, you're kind of all in the same facility, sort of thing. You know what I mean? They're not working with like what we've got. We've got our pitch over there, our stadium, and our training ground is over that side. They're not working with stuff like that. So
well, speaking from experience, I mean, I lived in Portsmouth for a year, and I lived at Fratton Park. So literally, I lived down the road from the stadium, and this one they're a Premier League club. And my school, Ravensbourne, had a lot of links to Portsmouth. So like lads from London who got into the county would have trials at Portsmouth and get in. And when we've had these discussions before about racism within football and stemming from the top, we discussed this before, saying that how can the usual bad managers keep getting jobs while black ethnic minority managers, like what happened to Paul Ince? What happened to Chris Powell? What happened to Houghton?
Sol Campbell.
Chris Powell's just he's just an assistant anywhere now.
Yeah, but why? This is the thing. Like, he had successes at Charlton. He had successes in the past. The same with Paul Ince. Even what's his name? Something Dean, the striker that used to play for Leeds. I can't remember his first name. I know his surname's Dean.
What?
He was been made.
Leeds or Bradford? Brian Dean.
Not Brian Dean.
Not Brian.
He was a bad boy striker back in the day. I can't remember his name. Even though his surname was Dean, though. He's been doing bits in other leagues as the manager. And you mean to tell me you think an under 18 player can put racist tweets, racist chats on WhatsApp when you got a black manager? Are you mad? Bruv? But yet you want to go on Instagram, you want to dress like us, you want to be like us, you want to listen to our music, but you would be racist online to our people. Are you mad? Are you crazy? And
That's
this will happen.
It's a bit crazy still, because they play against different colored people, especially like under 18s. You know what I mean? You're basically going places that, you know, the elder lot are not. You know what I mean? So you're seeing actual different walks of life. So it's crazy.
Exactly. Like sometimes you can. I don't know. I don't want to say you can understand it, but there's some sort of logic to it. If people have been cornered away from black people their whole life, and they might have this, I don't know, like adolescent view towards black people. But like if you're in an under 18 team, like you're surrounded by multicultural people. You know people. You're going around the country, talking to people, coaches, managers. Yeah, there's no excuse there. You can't say, "Oh, I didn't know," or whatever. No, sorry. Like
we signed someone. How much times do you see a club sign someone, a prospect from flipping, I don't know, Ukraine, 17? You know what I mean? Though, like hot prospects or something. Well, he's not English. Like, it's all different walks of life. So I don't understand why people would even do that. What would you do now? What, start taking the mick out of because they can't speak English now? You know what I mean?
To shock your system, right? Go on YouTube and watch old school Grange Hill, bruv, or Love Thy Neighbor, right? We get it. It's a generation thing. Things have moved on from there. I get that. But then the day that I hate to say it when I say this, but when John Barnes is right, and he's saying that it's not a football problem, it's a society problem. And when you see Boris Johnson, Priti Patel not condemning racism, or saying, like, Tyrone Mings pulled up Priti Patel and says, like, don't be shocked by racism when you said to the fans it's okay for you to, you know what I mean? Tyrone Mings has gone through the roughness. He was going to quit at one point, and you can't be you can't be saying, oh, to taking the knee is a political move by the football players, blah blah blah. No, again, your teammates, your white teammates, have seen you take the abuse and they're backing you. They're like, we've got you. Whereas before, in the past, they weren't getting backed. Still like, oh, it's a them problem, not our problem. But you see the unity within the British, the England squad, and in their football teams, they all take the knee together, and they're like, yo, we're doing this. Some people may not, because they have their issues, which, like Zaha, he eloquently put why he doesn't take the knee, because nothing has changed and it's continued.
On that point,
he is right. To like, I didn't like it in the beginning when he wasn't taking the knee, but to the testament of him, he is right. He is right, though. He is, though. What has changed?
On that note, like you're saying about England being united, I agree. Like, this is the most united I've ever seen England play. So like, I was very disappointed when they didn't win it, because I think they played well. They tried hard to do their thing, you know, and it was a bit disappointing. But on the other hand, there's a little like smirk on my face because I'm happy they didn't win it. Just a little bit happy, because I'm pro attacking football, you know. And I think England could have attacked more. And like Aiden keeps saying, like if you got them by the neck, you got to finish them. And I think like they could have finished them because like if you think about it, you got once you have their foot, you're supposed to finish them. Like, and I think if it was a bit more adventurous, through caution to the wind, England could have brought it home. You know.
Yeah. I mean, from when they were taking off their top ballers, Verratti came off, Immobile came off, their top. Who else came off? Chiesa, he came off. They weren't hurting us. They weren't having shots on target. So from that point onward, I want to see Grealish, I want to see Sancho, I want to see Rashford come on, do their thing. But like typically in the second half, I don't know what happened. Kane didn't have a shot on target. Sterling didn't have a shot on target. Why not? We're sitting back.
It's like they were happy. They were happy with the 1-0. As I said, it's like pros and cons. If they went on to win the tournament, then obviously the most pros would have been spoken about it, like as in the clean sheets, and even though it wasn't proactive football, but like they got the job done by only conceding. So they would have went with that. But now they haven't, and if you actually step back and you look at it from the outside, it's like, well, you kind of had one foot on their neck. And they were taking off their best players, as you just said, like, because it's a team game. So why don't you like just up the notch a bit more? Because it's not like you're looking at the bench and you think, yeah, I don't really have no options. You got loads of options on the bench to go up a notch. So,
I mean, like Ken, you mentioned before a template of how certain teams have won championships. And explain, please.
So, like, basically, like I learned this it's a copycat league. That's what they say in NBA, right? And I feel like it's like that in every sport. Once you see someone win something, you do it you copy them, right? Everyone thinks it's the path to success. So France won playing a very negative style, even though they had the likes of Dembele, they had the likes of Lamar, they had ballers on the bench, like that Coleman, that you just never got a chance. Instead, they went for 3 defensive midfielders. But anyway, it worked for them. They won the World Cup, and you see teams starting to copy it. You see Southgate's copying it. You see even Arteta, I would say, is copying it with this.
Oh yeah.
Even our own Arteta. So this is the thing, like
the new school Jose.
Yeah, the new school Jose, like this cautious approach. So this is why I am a bit happy that England didn't win it. Because if you go through France now, France are going through an indictment of their team. The public are so upset because they want their team to be more expansive. Like the English public, we want our team to be more expansive. And I'm hoping that there's some revelation from now until the World Cup that helps us become more attacking. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what needs to happen to it.
But do you think, like, because Southgate got so close, do you think that he thinks in his mind that this is a winning formula, though? Because let's be honest, if he goes through the qualifiers or leading up to the World Cup now, more than likely England are gonna handle their business in it.
Yeah,
you know, because they so. If he has another great record again, is he gonna go into the tournament with the same energy and philosophy? Do you think?
I hope Southgate has a moment to pause and reflect, watch the tape and think, we could have done more in certain games. We could have scored, even though we won this game, we could have scored more. We could have created more chances, even though we won. And I like to think that where's my train of thought gone? I have no idea.
Again on that in my eyes, 2 of the best strikers in the British strikers in the Premier League that he could have turned to and say, yo, I want you to do a job, weren't there. Danny Ings and Bamford should have been there. They should have been able to come off that bench and do a thing, because I'm not being funny. I like Calvert-Lewin, a young guy, good striker. But when you see Danny Ings putting a certain goals on one man up top, I mean, come on. The only striker they had on the bench was Calvert-Lewin. He's not going to change the game. He's not. Danny Ings, Bamford, yeah.
Calvert. You can go a bit route one with Calvert.
But route one, Kane. Kane was playing defensive midfielder. Was he not?
Sorry.
like,
Chain of thoughts come back.
I go again. Hit us with it.
Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, look. On top of him having this pause, I was going to say, I hope he reflects and looks at the draw. You know, because if you think about it, England's path to the final, they played one big team, Germany. If you look at Italy's path was a lot harder than England's to win to get to the final. So I hope he thinks, look, the path we took, was a bit easy, and we do need to go on attack mode next time, just in case we get a more difficult task to the final.
But this is the thing, though, yeah. Like in the last two tournaments, like the World Cup and the Euros, England's run up to where they've got to has kind of been favourable to them. Like to a degree, like the World Cup, what is it? Croatia, like, but up until Croatia, wasn't really a big test anywhere along that line. And it's the same with the Euros. It's only when they get to these later teams now, it's like their thought process is still stuck on them playing, like, no disrespect, but like the lesser countries. When you gotta take, like what the good countries used to do, like in a big tournament or a friendly, they will take that team to the sword, no matter who they're playing against. Yeah, we're up against you today. If it's 5-0, it's 5-0 today. England just seems to be like kind of content in a way. Like, I don't put it this way. I don't feel like they need to find a balance between attacking, like going for the neck, and knowing when to kill the game. Like, as in, like, you can sit back and kill the game. Because if they're willing to sit back and kill a game, then so be it still. But you can't do it from, as soon as you score up until
just defend. Like
like, balance, though.
Like the Italians are masters of catenaccio football, cat and mouse football. They defend, and catch on the break, and that's what they're doing to the T. But we're forgetting the key aspect about this tournament. If you are a Liverpool fan and you saw Liverpool perform like that at home, we were at home for the majority of the matches. Why are we playing defensive football in our home stadium, in our home crowd? And we as Arsenal fans, when we see Liverpool turn up at the Emirates and we play like that or defensive, we're not happy. And we're forgetting that after the Scotland game, people wanted Southgate out because he drew 0-0 to Scotland because we weren't playing expensive football. And
people have short memories. People have short memories. If they won the final, that Scotland game, who? Scotland game. What?
All right, guys, that was a lovely chop up, man. Let's leave it for now and catch it on the next one. Yeah.
And the rebound.
Like and subscribe. Leave comments below.
Subscribe.
Black Lives Matter, and just be kind to one another. That's what we can do. Yeah,
self-care, love one another. There's only one race, the human race. Peace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Peace and unity, people. Peace.